because apex court, which I told you earlier also, it's what we call apex court also, can transfer the judges from one court to another court and can move cases from one court to another court also, high court to the another court, and can transfer the judges from one high court to the another court also. Cases also. Then we have got the high court. High court can get appeal from the lower court, can issue writ from restoring fundamental rights, can deal with the cases within the jurisdiction of the state, exercise the superintendence and the concern over the first one. So these are usually the structure of the judiciary. Now, jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, we call it original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, advice jurisdiction, and written. Now, original jurisdiction के बारे में original jurisdiction means cases can be directly considered by the Supreme Court without going to the lower court. Original jurisdiction, when I told you, sometimes you can move, directly move to the Supreme Court. You can directly move to the Supreme Court without superseding the lower court. Lower court में ना जाकर आप directly Supreme Court का दरवाजा खटखटा सकते हैं. When the case is very important. For example, your fundamental rights has not been given. Because in fundamental rights, the Supreme Court or any court is very having a very good caution over there. So, court is not going to the lower court. Before that, from the diagram level, you will notice that cases involving federal relations go directly to the Supreme Court. Federal relations, state to the state. I told you that every state is having its own jurisdiction and its own high court. So one high court cannot say to the another high court because उनके पास तो same है. तो किसको अपना बताएंगे कि look, I am doing my job. So they have to go to the Supreme Court. So that is the answer. The original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court established it as umpire in all disputes regarding federal. I told you umpire yesterday. So in any federal country, legal disputes are bound to arise between the union and the state. They have to be. We have got 29 states now. Last was, Telangana. Last was Telangana. Right? And 29 states, 7 union territories. And 29 states के अंदर कभी कोई dispute ना हो, it is not possible. Not possible. So where to go? They used to go to the Supreme Court. The power to resolve the cases are entrusted to the Supreme Court of India. It is called original. This is called original jurisdiction. Because the Supreme Court alone has the power to visit the cases. Alone power, only one power. This is only one power. Because that is the supreme one. That is the apex one. That all other courts are junior courts. Neither the High Court nor the lower court can deal with such a thing. Neither the High Court nor the lower court can deal with such things. Right? In this capacity. The Supreme Court not just settled the dispute, but also interpreted the powers of union and state. Court क्या कहती है? Union government को भी उसकी पावर को बताती है, state government को भी पावर को बताती है. But that maximum क्या होता है? Union government. Union government. So हर बार union government जीते ये भी possible. ठीक है ना? So powers of union and the state government as laid down by the Constitution. Now, एक word है writ. Writ कई बार उसको पूछते हैं कई बार. उसका writ का मतलब WRITE right का मतलब होता है लिखना. So I'll give you the meaning. Write down over here. Writ means WRIT. Writ means a legal order. Which means a legal order not to do something or against given by a court of law. Given by a court of law. No, I'm giving you the meaning क्या होता है. हम एक बार हम करते हैं writ petition दायर करते हैं. Writ petition क्या है कि कोर्ट ने एक ऑर्डर दिया, लोअर कोर्ट ने एक ऑर्डर, we are not satisfied. हम क्या करते हैं? We have to go to the high court. Obviously high court क्या करता है? वो writ petition करके लोअर कोर्ट के आगे खाली करता है. आपको कहते हैं कि ये it is not by law. Law is like, right? So sometimes it happens. That's why we have got so many courts. And then high court के पास sometimes that is also sometimes there. That is also sometimes lower court ने एक person session judge ने एक person को everything is murder, right? Murder accept किया गया. तो उसके पास तो चांसेस है, राइट? फांसी है तो यहाँ से क्या डिपेंड होगा हाई कोर्ट, दैट इज हाई कोर्ट. तो हाई कोर्ट में से किसी का फांसी की ऑर्डर डिपेंड है. बट अगेन ही सेड नो. वाओ, दिस इज दैट इज इट. उसका अगेन फांसी का अगेन रेट देना, ऑर्डर के लिए तो रेट देगा ना. समथिंग ऑर्डर हैज बीन गिवन. हाई कोर्ट ऑर्डर, लोअर कोर्ट ऑर्डर हैज बीन गिवन. उस ऑर्डर के खिलाफ कहा जाएगा तो रिट डालते तो जाएगा कि लुक दिस इज द ऑर्डर हैज बीन गिवन बाय द लोअर कोर्ट. हाई कोर्ट तो लोअर कोर्ट ही बोला, सुप्रीम कोर्ट है. तो दिस हैज बीन गिवन बाय द लोअर कोर्ट. आई एम satisfied with justification on that. I want to go. रिट में डालते तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट से जाएगा. हाँ, कभी के इन दोनों सबने फांसी की सजा दी बट सुप्रीम कोर्ट से. Okay, it's not an extraordinary situation. So it's a common situation, right? So he should be given life imprisonment. Life imprisonment, 21 years. No, whole life. After 25 years gone, he died in the dream. He will be in the dream. So ऐसा भी तो बोलते हैं लाइफ imprisonment पहले था, it was earlier 25 years. Again it was there, but not now. Life का मतलब इतना a person is there. What do you mean by life? The first is complete life. Then why not giving 25 years? Why not giving 25 years? Complete life should be in the game. So he has now, he has to spend a complete life in the game. Right? Now, so, writ jurisdiction, as you know, already studied in the chapter on fundamental rights. Any individual whose fundamental right has been violated, your fundamental right has been violated. If you think that you have a and your right has been violated, right? Then can directly go to the Supreme Court for remedy. The Supreme Court can give special orders in the form of writ order. Writ a person is the order that you have done sometime or somewhere mistake, right? So writ. The High Court can also issue writs, but the person whose rights are violated have the choice to either approach the High Court or approach the Supreme Court. You can go to the High Court. But you are thinking that High Court is not going to listen me very carefully, then you can go to the Supreme Court. Fundamental rights. Your fundamental rights are there. I told you that when the some important and extraordinary situation, you can directly go to the Supreme Court. Right? So High Court is approaching the Supreme Court directly. So such writs, the court can give orders to the executive to act or not to act in a particular way. Now Supreme Court says to the lower court that your act is wrong, or you should act this way, or you should not act. You should not act. Because as a senior, he is giving the instruction to the junior. Supreme Court is a senior court, lower court, all of the high court is a junior court. Fine. Now, appellate jurisdiction. Appeal. Appellate means appeal. The Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal. And I told you this now. Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal. A person can appeal to Supreme Court against the decisions of the High Court. Against the decisions of the High Court to the Supreme Court. And he can again put the review petition, which I told you yesterday also. One review petition is the one request is that you have got the power to exercise your review. That you are not satisfied from the Supreme Court's order, but the Supreme Court is there. Again, could be possible, the judges or the lawyers should be changed, could be changed. It's not mandatory that Supreme Court Chief Justice will be the same. How could Chief Justice will be changed? So it could be, but the review will be there. High Court must certify that the case is not fit for appeal. That is to say that it involves a serious matter of interpretation of law or constitution. In addition, in criminal cases, if the law court has been sentenced a person to death, which I gave you the example just now, sentence a person of death, then an appeal can be made to the higher court. Or special cases, the person is given the sentence, death sentence. Possible है, जानता है, हो सकता है कि death sentence could be revoked and life imprisonment could be there. Writ or appeal. Writ is the instruction from the court. Appeal, you are appealing to the court. So appeal and application. Appeal, from appeal it's an application. But writ is instruction from the Supreme Court to the higher court. Supreme Court to the High Court. That your sentence is wrong according to our system. Right? So we are accepting his writ. This writ is there from this person. And ours is that your appeal has been accepted. Right? पुरानी जो अपील किया गया था उसको खत्म कर दिया गया. The instructions are given. Of course, the Supreme Court holds the power to decide whether the admit appeals, even when the appeal is not allowed by the High Court. Appellate jurisdiction means, underline, appellate jurisdiction means that the Supreme Court will reconsider the case and legal issue called trigger. If the court thinks that the law or constitution, if the court thinks that the law or the constitution has a different meaning from what the lower courts understood, then the Supreme Court will change ruling and along with that also gives a new interpretation of the provisions involved. The High Court too have appellate jurisdiction over the decision given by the court. Appellate means appeal कर सकते हैं किसी भी jurisdiction के against, किसी भी decision के against given by the university. You can move from lower court to the higher court, from higher court to Supreme Court also. Now, advisory jurisdiction. The word called advisory. The word called advisory. Advisory means advising. Now, advise means this is not certain, it's not compulsory, it is not mandatory that I have to accept your advice. Lots of things are that you should study good, you should get up early in the morning. This is the advice given by the parents to their children. But is it there that the children are accepting their advice? Sometimes no. So, advice is there, advisory committee is there. Right? Now, sometimes if there is in some state, the machinery is failure, some terrorist activities are there, then foreign office issues an advisory is not to go to the state, especially Jammu and Kashmir, जहाँ पर लोग घूमने जाते हैं, तो एडवाइजरी लागू कर दी जाती है। एडवाइजरी आप जाओ न जाओ आपकी मर्जी, बट हम एडवाइस ये करते हैं should not go because terrorist activities are there. So this is advice, right? The addition to the original and affiliate jurisdiction, the Supreme Court of India possesses advisory jurisdiction. Right. So also, this means the President of India can refer any matter that is of public importance that will involve interpretation of Constitution to the Supreme Court for advice. For example, there was a person was called Mahmood. Another person was there. He was a professor or lecturer in the university, and he was hanged. Right. So he was a professor. He did some terrorist activity. Constitution के और पार्लियामेंट में जब बॉम्ब गिराए गए थे, मारा गया था, सभी बोलते थे. He gave the guidance to what to do and what not to do to the terrorists. When he was going to hang and his petition was there, then it went to the Rashtrapati. Rashtrapati, before saying no, उसको माफ नहीं किया जा सकता. He sent it to the advisory committee. What is the real answer? तो क्या होना चाहिए? इसने क्या किया था? What he has done? Then the advisor says no, he should not be fair. उसको छोड़ा नहीं जा सकता because he has committed a blunder. One is a mistake. I have done some mistake. गलती हो गई है, हो जाता है. आपसे गलती होगी, हो जाता है. But blunder की कभी blunder जब होता है तो उसकी कभी माफी नहीं होती. So he has committed a blunder. He should be hanged. राष्ट्रपति ने क्या किया? So just according to the advisory, वो advisory committee क्या करती है? राष्ट्रपति को advice देती है what to do and what not to do. Now it's the sole discretion of the राष्ट्रपति or the president if he accepts the advice or not. Got it? Fine. So in addition to the original and appeal jurisdiction, the Supreme Court of India possesses advisory jurisdiction. This means that the President of India can refer any matter that is of public importance of which involves interpretation of the Constitution to the Supreme Court for advice. However, the Supreme Court is not bound, or Rashtrapati is not bound to give advice or to accept advice. Give advice. Suppose I give you a pencil, so I will use it. I have. This is your turn. Right. So, advice, however, the Supreme Court is not bound to give advice on such matters, and the President is not bound to accept. Right. Accept such advice. So, both in simple advice, manu na manu. Right. Then, what then is the utility of the advisory powers of the Supreme Court? मानो ना मानो, मतलब इसका फिर jurisdiction क्या हुआ? What is the use of it? Right? The utility is twofold. इसकी भी utility है. इसके दो utility है. In the first place, it is allowed the government to seek legal opinion or a matter of importance before taking an action. कोई कहता भैया ये एडवाइस है, you should ask the legal people. यदि आप इसको कानून को लागू कर दोगे, तो what will be the consequences? इसके consequences क्या होने वाले हैं? So you should seek a legal opinion, so that we should not be in a tight corner. The government should not be in a tight corner. Right. Then, opinion on a matter of importance before taking action on it. This may prevent unnecessary litigation. Unnecessary litigation means एक के बाद एक केस दर्ज हो रहे हैं सरकार के लिए. तो तुम इसको अवॉइड कर सकते हो. Right. Letter. Secondly, दूसरा पॉइंट क्या है? In the light of the advice of the Supreme Court, the government can make suitable changes in the action of the legislature or legislation. यदि उसका एडवाइस दिया जाए, इसमें ये कानून जो बनेगा ना, इसमें पेचीदगी आएगी. ये प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है. आप इन पॉइंट को ठीक कर लेगा। अब ठीक करना ना करना उसके हाथ में है। तो then the legal committee is out of that कि मैंने तो आपको कहा था कि ठीक कर लेगा, तो आपने किया नहीं किया हुआ, so that is all. So your question could be this: what is advisory jurisdiction? It is all you have to write down in your copy homework. What is original jurisdiction? What is jurisdiction? What is appellate jurisdiction? What is advisory jurisdiction? And what is the use of these jurisdiction and your legal appeal? This is the second paragraph. Now, it will be a question for you: what do you know about Article 137? Right. So the Supreme Court shall have power to review any judgment pronounced or order to made by it. It's the Article 137. Review petition में डाल सकते हैं कि suppose then you can go for the review that is party should and that should be reviewed. Right. It is in the ticket also that is out where you have to review it. Right. Review is only once. So there is 137 article, 144. All offenses, civil and judicial in the territory of India shall act in aid of the Supreme Court. जो भी काम हो रहा है, right, वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के हवाले से जितने भी कानून बनते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के हवाले से। Right. Then is judicial activism. Judicial activism क्या है? Right. Have you heard the term judicial activism or public interest litigation? Something is against a state. Public interest litigation, suppose you think that there should be absolutely alcoholism should be banned in Haryana. Alcohol, शराब, cigarette, tobacco, सब कुछ बैन हो जाना चाहिए। कहाँ पर? हरियाणा। आपने PIL डाल दिया, पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन डाल दिया। यदि वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट से और हाई कोर्ट से और एनी कोर्ट से this is the word litigation is there. We can go on to this. They can accept that particular litigation. Public के interest में जो लिया जाता है, personal interest में नहीं. One man is taking that want to have the action in the march for the march. पूरे march के पूरे लोगों के, he wants to have some type of order, instruction from the law. Right? That is called public interest. Public के interest में जो कानून बनता है, बनाया जाता है, that is called public interest. Am I clear? But both these terms are often used in discussion about judiciary in different times. आजकल ये काफी होता है. Many people think that these two things have revolutionized the functioning of the judiciary and made it more people-friendly. कभी आपने देखा होगा कि पुलिस से लोग बहुत डरते हैं, हम भी बहुत डरते हैं। वहाँ पे यहाँ पे इवन घरौंडा में दिखा हुआ मित्र कक्ष, that they want to behave a friendly one. अब आपने देखा during the corona, lots of people have been given food by the police. खाना वाना दिया गया था उनको. Why? Because they want to improve their picture before the citizens of India. As you are thinking, the police are absolutely culprit. The police are not culprit. ऐसा नहीं है. We are also human beings, right? So that is called public. So the chief instrument through which the judicial activism has thrived in India in public interest litigation, which I told you PIL, or social attention litigation, action litigation, SAL. What is PIL or SAL? How and when it emerged? ये question है आपका. All right. If he or she has been personally aggrieved उसको पर्सनल दुख हुआ है, that is to say a person whose rights have been violated, उसके अधिकारों का हनन हुआ है, or who is involved in a dispute and could make the court of law and want to move the court of law. This concept underwent a change around 1979. In 1979, the court set a trend when it decided to hear a case when the case was filled not by a aggrieved person but by the other on the case. A person jail में है, वो कुछ कर नहीं पाया, बट उसको गलत तरीके से जेल में डाला है. There could be a PIL that ऐसा कानून ना हो कि तुम you should be informed, or otherwise police ने inform नहीं किया है. Within 24 hours, if a person is being arrested, within 24 hours, his parents or his family members has to be informed that look, he is being picked up due to this offense. उसको inform करना होगा 24 घंटे के अंदर. Right? So that is PIL and all these. This is in the goodness of the people. Culprit, whosoever the culprit is a secondary one. कोई दोष किया है, दोषी जो है वो सेकेंडरी है, पहले वो इंसान है. वर्तमान कभी आपने देखा होगा जेल के बाद लिखा होता है पाप से घृणा करो, पापी से नहीं. उसने जो पाप किया है ना, you should hate that particular effect, that particular aspect. You should not hate a person. So that is here. Right? हुआ क्या?
राइट थोड़ी वायलेट कि अल्कोहल बैन कर दिया, किसी का राइट थोड़ी वायलेट हुआ इसमें PIL लगी.
Yes, आपको बात बताओ. I know I am the person says alcohol should not be banned. A person says alcohol banned. तुमको कहा जाता है कि अब कभी कभी कानून देखा होगा कि consume alcohol is not good for your health. लिखा होगा. The person says, I know that to accept that to have the alcohol is not good for me. I knew it. Why are you pressurizing me not to have alcohol? When I knew it, you have no, that is your right to inform me that this is not good for your health.